Hi, and congratulations on your 2025 Nissan Kicks SV. This is an absolutely amazing vehicle, but you already know that that's why you bought it. We're going to go back through everything on this vehicle that you do get, just to make sure that you're good and comfortable with it. And at the end, if you still have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can call, text, email, or stop into O'Regan's Nissan at 60 Baker Drive here in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. And let's get to this and see what you get with this amazing vehicle. We're going to start right here with the 12-inch infotainment system, where you can see you've got lots of information here. With this, you are also going to get wireless Apple CarPlay as well as wireless Android Auto. This is an unbelievable system. It's full color touchscreen display. Your radio info is all here, so you can set your presets. All you got to do is touch any preset and it will set it. You just press and hold till you hear a little beep. You can change the source of your audio very easily. You've got full access to do this from the wheel that we'll see in a couple minutes here. Satellite radio is free for the first 3 months. After that, you will need to subscribe to it if you want it. Also back here, you can see I've got my phone connected. We've got our connections here, very easy to set everything up. As I mentioned, you do have wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. I don't have the wireless Apple CarPlay running right now because I can't record video while it's connected, but it is there. So you can see everything's there and ready to go. We'll come back out of there and your clock is there. Your settings gives you access to everything that you could want. So your connections are all right here. If we come back out of connections, I can customize stuff. For instance, I might want to go in and I might want to customize my sound just to try and give a little bit better sound quality to whoever's listening based on their personal preferences. I can readjust where my sound is going right there. Once I'm done, I'm just going to go back, and then again, I've got my general settings as well. Now for any time that I'm here, I can always hit all settings and it jumps right back to that as well. Now, you can set up users. So there is the user profiles. Right now I'm in as guest. Or I can go in and I can set a profile. Now this tells me that the key that I have with me is key number 2. So for user 1, I might want key 1 in the vehicle and vice versa. It really doesn't matter. You can change the name, you can change an icon, and then you can save it. And essentially all that's going to do is just save your radio info and your presets for you, just to keep everything the way that you want it, so that the other person with the other key, if there is another person, can get in and they can set their stuff as well. The second screen there is just more information, not a whole lot going on there. Those are generally the things that I would do if I'm into these settings here. You can see there are additional things in there. The music we've already seen. Phone is just going to bring up anything from your phone. So you have favorites, I can go into previous calls, address book, I can dial number, and so on. I'm going to come right back out of all of that. As I move down below, there's my volume dial, there's my buttons to find my new radio stations to seek through. It is a digital climate control. So with this, you just set a temperature that you're comfortable with, hit the audio button, you never have to worry about anything. It's automatically going to determine where your airflow is going and what your fan speed is. And then based on that, it will adjust itself. You've also got your controls to be able to manually adjust everything here. Your rear defrost is also going to activate your heated side mirrors for you. You have your heated seats here. Now your heated steering wheel is to the left of the steering wheel on the dash. It's right here. Coming down below, we do have a wireless charge pad here. This will light up orange when your phone is charging, and if your phone does get fully charged, it will light it up green as well. Your electronic parking brake, you simply lift up on it, it engages there, and it shows you up on your dash up here. To disengage it, you must have your foot on the brake and then push down. That will disengage the parking brake. Now for auto hold, I'm going to buckle up just to be able to demonstrate this. So once the driver is buckled, if you turn auto hold on and put it in gear, I will notice right up top here, I have a little A with the word hold. That means that my brake is held on for me, so my foot is right off the brake. I'm in drive and I'm not moving because my brake is held. The moment traffic starts to move, all I got to do is ease onto the gas. That turns white and I'm moving. So same thing, foot fully on the brake, it turns green. I can take my foot off again. We're going to go into reverse. We'll talk about that beeping in just a moment, but that is my rear sonar. I go back into place and then I'm going to shift back into park again. And because it was green when I shifted into park, it automatically engages the parking brake. My D mode button over here is my drive mode button. So with this, I can do this on the fly or before I leave. As I toggle this up or down, it is going to display up on the screen here. So I have sport mode. Standard mode is your normal mode. Eco mode is going to get me better gas mileage. I use this typically out on the highway. I don't find it overly beneficial in the city, but I do find it quite useful on the highway. Sport mode is if you need to get past that last car because you're losing your passing lane. This will give you an extra little bit of torque on the motor. Please don't forget to take it back out of this. It is harder on the gas. Now, because I'm in an all-wheel drive version of this, because it does come in front wheel as well, and everything else is completely identical except all-wheel drive has snow mode. Snow mode, the way your all-wheel drive system is going to work in sport, eco, and standard, pulling away from a dead stop, you're in all-wheel drive. Once you get going, it drops down to front-wheel drive. Any traction conditions at all will automatically engage the all-wheel drive system up to 140 kilometers per hour. And then as soon as you get past it, it drops right back down to front-wheel drive. With snow mode, it does the same thing, except when you get past that traction condition, it holds you in all-wheel drive for another 5 to 10 seconds, anticipating another slippery spot up ahead of you. And if it still doesn't find it, then it will drop you down. So in standard, sport, and eco, you're going to be in front-wheel drive about 90 to 95% of the time, whereas in snow mode, you're going to be in all-wheel drive about 50% of the time. As we move over to the steering wheel here, we can see that we've got some buttons. So this first button here is going to turn on my cruise control, and when I do this, I can see it shows up here. Now initially, it's also going to change this screen over here. For me, I do like to switch it back to the tachometer, but for all intents and purposes at the moment, we're going to leave it on this screen. And then because it's adaptive cruise control, I can set my distance of 1, 2, or 3 car lengths plus safe distance. Simply by pushing the button, it drops to 3, 2, or 1, or back up to 3. And it will remember that setting so that when you turn your vehicle off or turn the cruise off, the next time you turn it on, it is back to there. For most people, 3 is too much. It's such a large gap that you'll get somebody that's going to pull in front of you, and the moment that they do, you're going to slow down a little bit to regain that distance, and then you'll resume your speed at that point. I find the sweet spot for most people is 2 car lengths plus safe distance. So feel free to set it where you like, but just as an example, 1 car length plus safe distance at 100 kilometers an hour is approximately 2.5 car lengths between you and the vehicle ahead of you. The faster you go, the bigger the gap will be. The slower you go, the smaller the gap will be. Also down here, this button answers a phone call. It also hangs up at the end of a phone call. While this button here will allow you to make an outbound call or access the voice recognition system. So if I press and hold this for 2 seconds with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, that gives me Siri or Google to be able to use the voice activation system and do what I want to do. On the left side of my wheel, I do have volume for my radio. Even though I've got a volume dial here, I can use the buttons on the steering wheel. I've also got these 2 buttons here, which will take me through the presets on my radio. So you can see it's switching there. And as I do switch it, it does show up on the dash just to be able to show me what's going on with my radio and the presets on it. My OK dial with the arrows. Now the left arrow also serves as a back button. We're going to start on the home screen. So your home screen is your digital tachometer. Your next screen over gives you your fuel economy, which is running exceptionally high right now because we've only gone 14 kilometers in 53 minutes. But if I want to reset this, I can press and hold the OK button, and I can reset any one individually, or I can reset them all. Now also, if I just press the button, I go from manual reset 1 to manual reset 2. And again, I'm going to press and hold. I'm going to reset them all. And that starts from fresh. The last one is called auto refuel. This one's kind of neat. Every single time that you put fuel in your vehicle, this screen resets on its own, and it is designed to show you how you did from fill up to fill up. So you have your average fuel economy, an average speed, which I don't find a whole lot of use to, your trip odometer, and the time running since reset last. Our next screen over has a few different items. Anytime that we see the 3 dots that were there, that means that you can scroll up or down. So you have tire pressure here, which will show up. You are equipped with a tire pressure monitoring system. Once you start to drive, it will show you all 4 wheels individually. And then on the axles, it will show you what the tire pressure should be. There is a 6 PSI variance that is allowed. And if you go below 6 PSI from what it's supposed to be, no matter what screen you're on, meaning that you've got a low tire, it's going to pop up with a warning that says low tire pressure. It's going to show you which tire is low and what the exact pressure is. From there, if you pull in somewhere that's got an air pump, and either leave your vehicle running or simply push the start button without your foot on the brake to put you into auxiliary mode, as long as it's on in one of those 2 modes, go to the tire that it says needs air, start putting air in, and as soon as it gets to the correct pressure, it's going to beep the horn to tell you that you're done. If for some reason you kept putting air in or went to the wrong tire, there is an upper limit, and if you do hit the upper limit, it will beep the horn 3 times in a row. Please stop putting air in your tire at that point. We do ask that you let some back out, and as soon as it gets back down to the correct pressure, the horn is going to beep just to tell you to stop. If I scroll down, this screen allows me to monitor when I am in front-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive. Pulling away from a dead stop, you're in all-wheel drive, so it's going to be 50-50 that the bars fill up to. As soon as you get going, it's going to go down to front-wheel drive. So the bottom bar is going to drop off altogether, and the top bar is going to fully fill up just to show you that you're in front-wheel drive. And it will engage the all-wheel drive system whenever it needs to, as often as it needs to, up to 140 kilometers per hour. So anywhere that you can legally drive in North America, you do have all-wheel drive available. If we scroll down, we do see our temperature gauge here as well. And because I've been running for a few minutes, we are warmed up. Next screen over is just my radio screen. While I am on this screen, if I press the OK button, I get a list to show me the source of my audio, and I can go ahead and I can change from AM to FM, Sirius XM, Bluetooth. Apple CarPlay would be an option there as well if it was connected. I'm going to hit my back button to come out of the screen. And then we have our adaptive cruise control, but there was another dot there, so I'm going to scroll up. And these are pertaining to your safety features. So with this screen, great screen, shows you lots of information. I do find it to be more of a distraction. So safety-wise, you have automatic emergency braking in the front with forward collision warning. So if the car in front of you slammed on the brakes as you're driving along, there's a radar in the front that's going to pick this up and pick up the fact that you're closing the gap really fast. Inside, it's going to beep at you. It's going to flash warning across the top of the screen, either in orange or red, depending on how close you are. And then if your foot does not go on the brake fast enough, it will start to apply the brakes for you to help avoid or minimize an oncoming collision. Your pedestrian detection, also in the front, works the exact same way, but it's going to work even faster, simply because the car in front of you that hit the brakes still has some forward momentum, while the person who walked out in front of you does not, and hopefully we're not going to give them any. It would show you a visual for that if it engaged on this screen, but you're going to be more concerned with what's going on around you than you are watching the screen. Your lane departure warning system is more of a highway thing. It works at 60 kilometers an hour or faster. if you start to drift out of your lane. The camera that's in this housing up here is watching for the lanes on either side of the road, and if it sees you're starting to come out without signaling, it is going to vibrate your steering wheel. It's kind of like hitting the rumble strips on the side of the road, except only the driver feels it. Your blind spot indicators are out on the mirrors. There are triangles out on the corner of the mirrors. Those will light up and stay lit up a dull orange when part of a vehicle is in your blind spot. So whether it's just starting to get in there, the whole thing, or just the tail end of it, that indicator will be lit up as long as part of that vehicle is there. While that vehicle is lit up, and this works at 32 kilometers an hour or faster with a vehicle in motion beside you, won't work on a parked car or a barrier. While that indicator is lit up, if I signal to go that direction, so if my driver's side is lit up and I signal to go left, that indicator is going to start flashing and it will beep at me inside the vehicle, as well as down here it'll be indicating that there's something in the blind spot. That is just letting me know I should have a look over my shoulder. There is something in my blind spot area. Rear cross traffic alert is when you're backing out of a parking spot. If there's something coming at you from either side within approximately 2 car lengths inside your vehicle, it will beep at you. Also, just to let you know which direction it's coming from, the blind spot indicator on the side that that vehicle is approaching from will be flashing on that side of your vehicle. Your rear sonar, rear emergency braking. So the rear sonar, we can hear. So the way that this works is as soon as whatever's behind you gets within the green hash marks here on your distance indicators, it is going to slowly start to beep. The closer you get, the faster the beeping will get. If that object gets down near the red indicators here, the beeping is going to be pretty much a steady tone. But if you're still moving, it is going to fully apply the brakes, whether you do or not. That is your rear emergency braking. It's very aggressive, and the very first time it happens, it's probably going to give you a fright, just because it grips the brakes so aggressively, the sound from it will make you jump. If you are backing up, maybe you've got a bike, trailer hitch back there for a bike or whatever, and you want to connect to it. This system here, if I press the OK button, I can see I get a new icon on the screen up here. This is telling me I have just disabled my rear sonar and rear emergency braking. So now if I start backing up, it will let me run into that truck that's back there instead of stopping me in place. Our last screen over is our settings screen. With this, you press the OK dial to go in. Our driver assistance screen is where you do get your lane departure warning. You can intensify the vibration or lower it or leave it where it's at. You can turn on or off your blind spot warning. The emergency braking stuff for both the front and the rear, if you do disable it, the moment you turn your vehicle off and back on, these are back on. So this is why I said the rear one, we just disabled it a minute ago, but the moment I shifted out of reverse, it re-enabled. So if I shift into reverse, I press the OK button. Up there, it's disabled, but if I shift back into park, it is back on. Even if I come down and disable this, the moment I turn my vehicle back on, this is automatically back on. These are safety features. They are there on purpose. If we come out of here, the parking aids, the rear sonar is on, and the show sonar, that's that screen that pops up. That works quite well. You can set a distance and a volume for that as well. We're going to come back out of here. The next thing I typically set is down in the vehicle settings into locking. By default, Nissan vehicles will automatically unlock the doors when you turn the vehicle off. I find most people prefer to do it when you shift into park. Now the next part is personal choice. There is a walk-away lock, so if I do this, once I get 3 or 4 feet away from the vehicle with the key, it will automatically lock. The approach unlock is a preferential thing. I personally like it. It means that as I approach the vehicle, it unlocks the vehicle. However, it does unlock the entire vehicle. So what I have found is most women in particular prefer to leave this off and leave the selective lock on, which means as you approach the vehicle, you can push the button on the handle of the vehicle, as we can see on that blue one over there. One push will unlock only the door that you're at, which means that door is unlocked, the rest of it is locked. A second push unlocks the whole vehicle, so if you had somebody with you, then you could let them in. You can set it up however you want, and you can also turn off the walk-away lock so that when you get out and all the doors are shut, you push that same button on the handle and it will lock the vehicle as well. For right now, we're just going to leave this all on. My wipers, I want to make sure all of this is on as well. We're going to come out. I want to make sure that my maintenance for the oil and filter is set for 8,000 kilometers. However, if I look at the oil control system, I see 16,000 kilometers. Your oil changes are once a year, or in a perfect world, every 16,000 kilometers. Now, because here in Nova Scotia and in some areas it is deemed to be extreme conditions, any short trips where it is plus 20 or above, or a short trip where it is minus 10 degrees Celsius or below, is harder on the oil, and this will tick down a little bit faster, so you won't get the full 16,000 before it tells you that you are due for an oil change. The reason we set this one for 8,000 is your regular maintenance intervals, because there are other things that should be done recommended in your manual in section 9, are every 6 months or 8,000 kilometers, whichever hits first. The only other thing that I might look at is my customized display. And in this case, I'm just going to leave everything on, but you may not want everything here, so feel free to turn off whatever you like. And again, every time I'm coming out, I'm simply hitting the left arrow here, which is the back button. Please do not be afraid to play with your settings. You cannot mess anything up irreversibly. There is a factory reset at the very bottom, which will fix that. And as well over here on your dash, in one of the screens on here, so we can see we've got lots of information. So I'm going to go into my settings, and then under more information, I apologize for this. The system is relatively new, and Nissan has been putting some different systems into different vehicles. There we go. General settings has a factory reset as well. High beam assist is an additional safety feature that you do have, so that when your lights are on, and I've triggered this simply by covering the light sensor up there, but at night, because your lights are automatic, as it starts to get dark, the lights will automatically come on. Now, if you do not see a little green bullet with an A, which we do not, we're going to push this button, and notice that we now have a new icon down below here. That means that your high beams are 100% automatic. The camera that's in the housing up here is going to look for headlights or tail lights up ahead of you. So essentially, for this to work, you need to be traveling at least 40 kilometers an hour. It needs to be dark out, and the camera cannot pick up additional lights. So street lights would prevent the high beams from coming on. So this won't work residentially, but if you're out on a highway or a country road and driving along, if there is nothing ahead of you, your high beams will come on, and the little light that you're used to, the blue light, will pop on like that. As soon as that camera sees headlights or tail lights up ahead of you, that high beams light will go out automatically. The moment it no longer sees anything ahead of you, it'll come right back on. So it's a really great feature, and in case anybody's wondering, I was manually triggering them like that. Two things that will cause that light to go out is if you accidentally push the button, or if you manually turn on the high beams. I notice that the indicator is gone, so when I turn them back off, I do need to turn it back on. It works remarkably fast. I've never had anybody flash their lights at me before. Your key fob is equipped with factory remote start. So we have a panic button on the bottom, which will set your horn off. We have the unlock, lock, and to work your remote start, you're going to double tap the lock button, and then you're going to press and hold the top looping circle for 5 full seconds. This will remote start your vehicle from up to 200 feet away. From there, it's going to run for 20 minutes. If you do not get in and engage the vehicle within 20 minutes, it will shut off. And then to remote start it again, you need to get your vehicle up to 30 kilometers per hour. Once you do that, that resets the system to allow it to know that you're allowed to remote start again. If you decide you're not going anywhere and just want to turn it back off, press and hold the top button for 2 full seconds. Now, because it is a key fob, there is a battery inside. That battery typically lasts 2 to 4 years. Your first indication that your battery is getting low, you're going to get one of two things happen. You're either going to get it pop up and say incorrect key ID when you try and start the vehicle, or it may pop up beforehand and say low key fob battery. Either one will let you know that it's time to think about changing your battery in this. If you get busy, as we often do with life, the battery may die in this, and if that happens, on the back, there's a little switch, and if I push the switch over and lift this out, there is a key on the inside. That key will get me in the driver's side door. Once I get in, there is no key for the ignition, so I want to use my key fob to push the start button with my foot on the brake, and that will still start my vehicle. Now, if you're going to change the battery yourself, you simply want to take this and get a small flathead in one of these 2 little areas here and give it a twist, and you may need to do it again on the side to pop it open. The battery inside is a button battery. It looks like a watch battery. It's a CR2032. Please do not buy the dollar store batteries. I have nothing against the dollar store. I love the dollar store, but the batteries for these typically only last about 3 or 4 months. Go buy a good battery that's going to cost you $8 or $9, or you can stop into your local dealership. They can do it all for you for an extra couple dollars. Once you put it back in, make sure everything is clipped back together properly. And then from there, there is an LED indicator right up here that you want to hit your button to make sure it blinks. If it does not blink, chances are you've got your battery in upside down. You got to pull it back apart and flip it back over. But once you do that, you're good to go. So a couple final things with your Kicks. In the winter, especially here in Canada, this area down below here, I want to make sure that that is kept clear of snow. As well, the camera that's in the windshield here needs to be kept clear of snow. And on the back, you do have some sonar dots here, which also need to be kept clear of snow. Those will obstruct your safety features and disable those if they are blocked. Congratulations again on your 2025 Nissan Kicks SV. I hope this helps you get up to speed on some of the features that you have with your vehicle, but if you still have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can call, text, email, or stop into O'Regan's Nissan at 60 Baker Drive in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. I'd love to see you when you're in for your regular maintenance and when it's time for your next vehicle. Have an amazing day.